Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutagen Ooze Sewer Cruiser! Haha, that's right! More wacky vehicles that utilize that brand new Mutagen Ooze that is already hitting stores. This one here is a floating vehicle meant for water play. How cool is that? So let's go ahead and check this bad boy out. First of all, the Sewer Cruiser comes in the same style fully boxed packaging that we've seen all of the other vehicles come in so far. The front of that box features some really cool artwork of the action figure of Raphael riding on the Sewer Cruiser. And you can see he's kind of surfing down some sewer tunnel there, and the water's got a very green quality to it. It's a really cool piece of artwork. I'm always a fan of box art on toys. The back of that box gives us an image of the actual toy inside and shows off some of the cool features that it has, including the blurb, "Really floats!" And then you'll also notice that you can choose to ooze because this particular vehicle can utilize the Mutagen Ooze, which is sold separately. So upon removing the vehicle from the box, you will notice that there is some assembly required. It's just two small bags there with a few pieces. It's not going to take you very long to build, but there is an included sheet of instructions that will help guide you through the process. Along with that, there is a very tiny sticker sheet only containing 2 stickers, so that's not going to take you any time at all. And by the time you get it all put together, it's only going to take you maybe 5 minutes or so. All the parts just kind of pop into place. Very easy to do. You may not even need the instructions to do it. And once you're all done, you have yourself a very cool looking Sewer Cruiser vehicle. Right off the bat, I really love this one. In fact, I already know that I like this one better than the Dropcopter because this vehicle right here just screams Ninja Turtles. This looks just like something we would have gotten in the vintage line. The overall design of this is a motorcycle attached to a surfboard. And then you can see along the sides we have 2 large barrels. And all the little details on this thing are just incredible. First of all, looking at the whole chassis and the motorcycle there, it's all just molded in that same grayish color, but you can see that it does have that green turtle shell kind of design on there, which is very similar to what we saw on the Dropcopter. And there's lots of sculpted details in there on the motor of the motorcycle and everything. The surfboard that it sits on is a teal blue in color, and then we've kind of got these green barrels that are attached to the side. That's where some of our stickers will attach to. And what I really like is how the back of it, you've got this red cooler that is attached to the back. And it's even got like the white lid that's got little cup holders in it. And if you open up that cooler, there's even little fish sculpted to the bottom of the inside of the cooler. I thought that was kind of neat too. And then the orange seat that Michelangelo is sitting on has this lawn chair type feel to it, which, again, all of this just totally screams Ninja Turtles vehicle to me. It just looks like it's completely cobbled together. You could tell that Donatello just pieced this whole thing together with parts that they found and made this really cool contraption. So there's lots of cool little features with this thing. Like I said, this is just a personal little vehicle, so you can see we got Michelangelo here standing alongside it. He can just sit up on top, he kind of stands more on the seat, but you can get him in a little bit of a sitting position there. He can hold on to the handlebars on the front just fine. He looks very cool, ready to ride his motorcycle attached to a surfboard down the sewer tunnels. Now, if you look at the bottom, you'll notice that there is one wheel up there in the front, but then the back just kind of has those little plastic stand pieces that are in place of wheels. So the wheel on the front there will kind of allow you to roll this along carpet or anything like that if you want to play with this outside of water. But the cool thing about this is that it floats, and it's definitely meant to be like a floating toy. So if you want to fill up your bathtub or a swimming pool or whatever, you can just drop this in the tub, and you can see that it floats really well. Now, what's causing it to float are those barrels on the sides. Those are just hollow barrels filled with air, obviously. That's what's keeping the thing afloat. So if you took those off, it is going to sink. The barrels are necessary, but you can see it floats very well. You can kind of glide it across the water there. Very cool. I know I, as a kid, always loved playing with my Ninja Turtle toys in water and the sink and pools, anything like that. So I think it's very cool that we're getting new vehicles that use water like this. Alright, so the other action feature, of course, is going to revolve around that cooler, because this is where the Mutagen Ooze is going to go. Now, first of all, just like we've seen with the other Ooze toys so far, if you don't want to use the Ooze, it does come with these 2 little plastic pellets that are shaped to look like Ooze splats. They're just molded in a silver color, and if you want to, you can just drop those in the little cooler back there. And then the cooler is just on a little hinge, so all it does is just dump forward, the lid flies open, and it dumps those little Ooze pellets out the back. Now, we don't want to just use the pellets, right? We want to get messy, and we want to use some of that Mutagen Ooze. So you take the Ooze that you've bought separately, you can just pour it in that back cooler there, and you can actually fit quite a bit in that square cooler, but you want to top it off best level there, that way you can close the lid still. So you put the Ooze back there, you shut the lid. Now, this is the thing. It just kind of dumps backwards, so basically you're looking at either rolling this around on the ground and dumping the slime behind you, or we roll it in the tub and we dump it into the water behind you. Now, I'm not really sure exactly why you'd want to do that. Maybe it's supposed to be something where if he's got an enemy chasing him down, he's dumping the mutagen behind him so they run into it. But so you just kind of tilt that cooler backwards, the glob of ooze just flops right out of it, and splashes in the water, and it will just kind of sink down in the water. Now, if you're worried about using the ooze in the water, I will say that it holds its consistency fine. Now, I will say that it's water-based, so if it's warm water, there is a good chance it's going to break apart eventually. But you can see that the ooze kind of holds consistency. It gets real slippery and even harder to hold on to, but you can definitely pick it back up. You can put it back in the cooler if you want to, and you can keep playing with it. So I guess if you want to play with the ooze in the bathtub or in your swimming pool or whatever, it can be done. Again, I'm not exactly sure why you just want to dump the ooze into the water, but that's what this does. So there you go, guys. There is a look at the brand new Mutagen Ooze Sewer Cruiser. This is a really cool vehicle. I think this is probably one of my favorites of the vehicles that have been released so far, and that's simply because, like I already stated, totally reminds me of the Vintage Turtles line. This is exactly the kind of thing we would have saw back then, and I think it's really cool that we're still getting that same kind of mentality in the design of these new vehicles. This looks like something that Donatello would have pieced together. I could totally picture the Turtles riding this through the sewer tunnels. I think this is going to be a lot of fun, especially for kids who want to play with their toys in the bath or play with them in the swimming pool. Very cool toy specifically for those reasons. So the Mutagen Ooze Sewer Cruiser is already starting to show up in stores, so happy hunting, and until next time.